Rachel Zegler thought she was rewriting a fairy tale. Instead, she became the villain in one. The backlash? Massive. The fallout? Getting nuclear. And now, even Joe Rogan, yes, Joe Rogan, is jumping in to roast the girl Disney once called their next princess. And he's not wrong.
They're leaning in.
Or what?
They're leaning into woke. Hardcore.
They're petrified of some kind of backlash. I mean, you see with Disney now. I mean, Disney, one of the most gay-friendly companies that we've had in a very long time.
On his podcast, Joe didn't hold back. Disney hired the most insufferable girl boss narcissist on earth who hates Snow White. Oof, that's not a jab. That's a straight-up branding crisis. Welcome back to Celebrity. It's Olivia here. Before we peel back the layers of this wild unraveling, make sure to smash that like button and hit subscribe. If you love deep dives with no fluff, just facts, receipts, and a sprinkle of chaos, you're in the right place. And trust me, you won't believe how this one plays out. Because Rachel didn't just play Snow White, she torched her own movie before it even hit theaters, mocked the prince, laughed at romance, dismissed the 1937 original like it was a bad school play. And fans? Oh, they noticed. By the time Snow White 2025 actually dropped, the verdict was brutal. Review bombs, meme carnage, a press tour so chaotic it made Disney look like they'd completely lost the plot. And in the center of it all, Rachel. The same actress who, according to insiders, gave the studio a heart attack every time she opened her mouth. No prince, no dwarfs, no saving. Just a lot of lecturing and a CGI forest full of vibes. So how did Disney go from building a legacy to burning it at both ends?
And Disney decided to hire the most insufferable girl boss narcissist that exists on Earth, who hates Snow White.
Movie companies are going to look at her and they're going to say box office poison. And a lot of this is due to her behavior leading up to the film's release.
There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her.
Yeah.
Weird.
So with Snow White, let's go through this, right? There's no prince. Woman doesn't need a prince.
Oh, Lord.
Really? Okay, good luck back then.
It started with a microphone and ended with a multi-million-dollar disaster. Rachel Zegler didn't just go off script, she lit it on fire. In interview after interview, instead of hyping the film, she dragged it. Not subtly, not slyly, but openly, almost gleefully. She mocked the original Snow White, said the prince was a stalker, called the love story weird, claimed the original message was outdated, patriarchal, and basically trash. And sure, we've seen modern reimaginings before. Disney does this. But there's a way to reinvent a classic without insulting the entire fan base who made it iconic. Rachel? She didn't walk that line. She bulldozed it. Worse, she acted like she wasn't even interested in the role. In one clip, she says she took the job for the paycheck. In another, she laughs while explaining she never even liked the original movie. The internet exploded. TikTok roasted her. YouTubers launched hour-long takedowns. Even neutral fans started calling it the most disrespectful reboot in Disney history. And it wasn't just noise. The numbers tanked. Advance buzz cratered. Merch deals paused. And then, Rachel got quietly cut from press appearances. No announcement, no scandal headline, just removal. She vanished from D23. Her face was minimized in international promos. Her name went from headliner to barely mentioned. And this isn't cancel culture. This is consequence culture. Because Rachel didn't get backlash for playing a role. She got backlash for acting like the role, and the people who loved it didn't matter.
She doesn't need a prince to save her, and not surrounded by 7 weird people. Oh, okay, just CGI fictional goblins, I guess.
To go out and badmouth everybody and talk smack about, older movies in the same franchise, the canon story, I guess?
Yeah.
I don't know, dude. I feel like they would have had better control of it.
This girl took the money and then decided that she wanted to go out there and, you know what, I'm going to take my stand. Well, you should have made that stand before you took the money to promote a film, because that's not in line with your job description.
This is their policies coming back to bite them. They went woke.
Yeah.
She went out and said stuff woke that was going to hurt the film. They couldn't come out and go against her, because then you're going after somebody for saying what you say you believe.
You know things are bad when Disney starts ghosting its own movie. No press junkets, no red carpet rollout, no TikTok dances. Just silence and a slow, strategic erasure of everything that once screamed Snow White reboot. Behind the scenes, it's not just panic, it's full-on triage. According to insiders, Disney execs were blindsided by how fast the public turned. What started as a bold attempt at a modern update quickly mutated into the most toxic PR campaign they've ever had to bury. And Rachel? She became unmanageable. One source claims the studio had to scrub entire press kits after every new interview. PR handlers were begging her to stick to the script, but by then, the clips had gone viral. The damage was done. Then came the next blow. Gal Gadot. Originally marketed as the power duo behind the film, Rachel as Snow White, Gal as the evil queen, Disney planned to push their dynamic hard. But when the backlash hit, Gal pulled back. Quietly, strategically, and very intentionally. She stopped doing joint appearances. Her interview answers got shorter. Her social media all but ignored the project entirely. And if you listen closely, there's a chill in every promo she did do, an unmistakable energy of get me out of this contract. Fans picked up on it too. Edits comparing Gal's professionalism to Rachel's chaotic spirals went viral. Comments like, Gal is PR trained, Rachel's out here winging it with a flamethrower. So now Disney has a problem. They've spent millions. The movie's in the can, and their lead actress? Public enemy number one.
And then they couldn't put dwarfs because this is just so typical of the left. The progressives always finding a way to find their way back to doing something not progressive.
But at the same time, like, I think going forward, they're going to be like, hey, shut up.
Yeah.
Tight-lipped. Otherwise, guess what? We're clawing back some money.
Yeah. This would have been a lot better if they, had a strong male along with her.
Could have done all that woke shit. You want to call woke? They could have done all that still. And as long as she had gone out and been like, well, we just have a different story. I like the old story, but we're doing a different one this time.
You're probably right.
The backlash would have been 10 times.
Yes. You're probably right.
Our primary purpose is to entertain, and where we can entertain responsibly, obviously, we try to do that. We try to have a positive impact on the world. But the first thing we need to do is entertain.
When Joe Rogan speaks, the internet listens. Sometimes to argue, sometimes to meme. But this time, they nodded. In unison. On his podcast, Joe didn't just roast Rachel Zegler. He incinerated her. Disney hired the most insufferable girl boss narcissist on Earth who hates Snow White. And yeah, it's a harsh line, but the wild part, no one pushed back. Not even the usual defenders. Not even the hardcore Disney loyalists. Because at this point, the rage isn't coming from trolls. It's coming from lifelong fans. The ones who bought the DVDs, sang along to Someday My Prince Will Come, and raised their kids on the classics. Now, they're asking the same question Rogan did. Why cast someone who openly disrespects the story, the legacy, and the fans? And it's not about being anti-progress or stuck in the past. It's about tone, about gratitude, about not accepting a lead actress who treats a billion-dollar fairy tale like a personal TED Talk on everything wrong with old Disney. The result? Wanna cancel Snow White started trending. Reddit threads popped up calling for the entire project to be shelved. Even Disney-focused blogs are saying what execs won't. Maybe this is one reboot too far. And here's the scary part for Disney. This isn't just about Snow White anymore. This is about losing audience trust. Because if people stop believing Disney can handle its own legacy, they won't just skip this movie. They'll start questioning everything that comes next.
You'd think the most progressive thing would be get people jobs, and dwarfs want to work.
So even though woke in some sense feels like it's dead, it still has to run its course through the system. The ghosts have to get out of the machine in essence.
Jonah Platt, whose father helped produce the latest Snow White film, had some very harsh words for star Rachel Zegler.
For context, Variety wrote a report recently titled Inside Disney's Snow White Fiasco, Death Threats, Beefed Up Security, and a Social Media Guru for Rachel Zegler.
We are still in the thick of the culture wars. Oh, have we been following the Snow White?
Actually, the first I'm hearing of this.
The controversies surrounding Disney's Snow White remake show that
an employment opportunity for dwarves.
There's not that many scripts that come down the pike.
No, only 7 of them.
Our primary purpose is to entertain, and where we can entertain responsibly, obviously, we try to do that. We try to have a positive impact on the world. But the first thing we need to do is entertain.
Let's be real. Rachel Zegler isn't just facing career turbulence. She's facing a potential Hollywood freeze-out. Studios are watching. Casting directors are reconsidering. Even her upcoming Hunger Games prequel, once her golden ticket, is now swimming in, should we delay this? Conversations behind closed doors. Because when your name trends more for controversy than for craft, you're no longer an asset, you're a liability. And it's not just about Rachel being outspoken. Plenty of actors speak their minds. This is about tone deafness, arrogance, and burning bridges before even crossing them. Disney handed her a once-in-a-generation opportunity. She turned it into a masterclass in how to lose a fan base in under 5 press junkets. And now, she's quiet. Her team's gone dark. Her social channels are suspiciously filtered, curated, and silent on Snow White. Because even they know, the internet doesn't forget, and the moment this movie drops, every soundbite will be waiting. So what's next? There's only one card Rachel can play now. The redemption arc. A real apology. Not a PR-crafted statement. A sit-down moment where she owns the chaos, shows some humility, and reintroduces herself as someone who respects the work and the people who made her famous. Can she do it? Sure. Will she? That's the billion-dollar question. As for Disney, if they want to avoid another Snow White-level disaster, they'd better start listening to the audience again, before the audience decides they're done listening to Disney. Love this kind of tea? Don't just sip it. Subscribe so you never miss a drop. Share it with your crew, because if you're shocked, they will be too. Hit that notification bell to stay in the loop every time a star slips, a feud erupts, or a scandal hits the spotlight. This is Celebrity Unfiltered, where the drama's hot, the takes are sharp, and the truth, always a little messier than they want you to see. Stay tuned, stay savage, and stay watching.